Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel dedicated to the open source community. Why did I create this channel? Well, to be honest, I'm receiving a lot of questions about open source. I'm receiving a lot of questions from people who would like to contribute to open source, and questions remain the same. Your starting point might differ. You might be from India, you might be from Tunis, you might be from United States, like literally almost any country in the world. And you can do open source and you can benefit from it in various ways. So I decided to create this channel to demo how all of us can easily open to open source and to explain why we can do that or why we should do that. So why am I so addicted, or why do I advocate so much for contributions to open source? Well, the reasons are many, but I'll try to name the top few. So first of all, using open source, you can start contributing to the companies of your dream, literally companies of your dream right now. Like, you don't need to go through all those interviews to start working at, let's say, I don't know, let's say you like Microsoft. Why not? It's a nice company. So we are going to Microsoft repository and we are trying to find Microsoft repository. So there is Microsoft Learning, but I think they might have Microsoft as well. Yeah, so apparently they have a verified repository. There's a verified repository from Microsoft. This repository, Microsoft Training Certification, is not verified. So there's a high chance that it's not really from Microsoft. So that's something you'll have to investigate, but that's beyond the scope of this video. So if we go back to this Microsoft, so that's not the real repository, it's just their main page. But you can go here, and here you can check which projects they have and which languages they're using. For example, I'm using Java a lot, so I can choose Java and I can sort by last updated, or I can sort by stars. So there are multiple parameters here to check, but often I sort by stars. So this one. So for example, you like MySQL JDBC, or for example, you like Playwright, Testing and Automation Library. So here you go. You are ready to contribute. All you need to do is to click this button. So we are forking. So the fork is basically a copy of the repository, in this case of Playwright repository. And now there's a small trick which Benjamin from GitHub taught me. You don't have to even install any kind of software on your machine. So let's actually contribute right now, because there's always a way, right? Let's start from something simple. What I keep saying is that everybody, literally everybody, can start contributing, because all you need to do is create an account at GitHub and have a computer, or probably even mobile phone. I'm not sure, but maybe some mobile phones and tablets supported. And you can start from small things like typos and stuff. So let's see. If I go to README, and so okay, actually the good thing would be to first check contributing MD. So they explained how to install stuff, but I'm more interested in styling. I'm more interested to see like the labels for the pull requests. I'll explain later, but this stuff is important. Okay. So if you go back now, so I will open it. So the good projects, one of the way to notice them, they will have contributing MD in them, not just README. So check contributing MD to make sure you don't disappoint people. So now this is the README file, and we can start contributing to it now. We can just click this button, edit this file. I'm not sure if there's a handle for that. Yeah, you can also type E on your keyboard and it will start editing. So let's see if there's something we don't like about this documentation. So there's a dot in the end, that's fine. Let's just really look at something which we won't like. There's always something. So page screenshot. Wait, what is that? Okay, so that's a description of how they save screenshots. That's fine. Okay, mobile and geolocation. That's fine. I'm not sure if that's grammatically correct. Is it in browser or in a browser? Mobile Chrome, Firefox. Documentation. Oh, here is a typo. You see? There is a dot after the exclamation mark. You don't need two of them. Nice. So we type E and we go here and we delete this thing. Okay. Now we will we'll create a new branch actually, because we don't want to so basically there's like a main branch which is called trunk or main or developed, depends on the project, but it's a very bad idea to contribute to this branch directly. Sorry about that, because, well, just trust me, it's a different topic, but it's a bad idea. So what I want to do now is actually to raise an issue. So we're going here to playwright, and we are going to raise an issue. So we're going to Microsoft, and we are going to issues, and we are creating a new issue, and that will be bug. Okay, so bug, we'll call it, so do they say how we should name it? Actually, let's check which issues are there now, because I want to see. So they so the format is important, because they literally call it a bug, and they literally call pull requests like let's see closed. Once test DevOps fix. So it will be bug and it will be fix. Okay. So we're going to issues. We are going to create new issue. Let's see the ones which are open. Bug report, excessive in the README and okay. So they're asking which version of the file it is. Well, let's see. So this file is of which? This file, it was changed 25 days ago, so we can probably check this one. So basically that's a commit details, and it shows when you can check this commit, and you can navigate to the version of the file. Do they have develop? No, they only have main, and then they do stuff. So new file, okay. That's not in it. Okay, and we go here. Notice the excessive dot symbol on the end of the line, right? And now we can create this thing. So that just created us a bug number 942. So what can we do now? Now we can create a fix, and that's actually pretty easy. So remember, we opened this window. So basically we navigated to file readme md in our fork. That's our fork, Nikita Koslev, Playwright Java. So we opened the readme md, and then we found this place here. We clicked create a new bunch for this commit. We call it fix. We want to call it in a similar way to the people before us. So because we need to follow standards, it makes everybody's life easier. Okay, so it will be called fix. If we just go here, we'll just call it the same way. Okay, and we'll see how the previous pull requests mentioned it, right? So in closed, I think some of them mentioned the number. So round brackets and number. So round brackets and number. In our case, this is 942, sorry. So we are doing it like this, 942. Okay. Typo fixed has been fixed. Just a small typo fix to demonstrate on my YouTube channel for those who are just starting with the open source. All right. Propose changes. Okay. So now the changes are there. We can. It would be nice actually to go back to my Playwright and open the readme md and just go. That's interesting. That's not something I expected, but why? Because we are in the main. If we go to the fix branch, we can see that, yeah, that it has been fixed. So now we can go back here, and now you can see that this is my fork, but this fork now gives me an opportunity to create a pull request, and we call it a typo has been fixed. an excessive period has been removed in. Okay. Okay. So we create a pull request, and now it's actually important. So we are using my branch, that's the correct one, to pull into the main. That's fine. So now what has happened, that's fine. That's just ignore it for now, because every repository might have their own review policy. So that's fine. But what has just happened is that Playwright Java repository of a well-known company, Microsoft, it's an extremely good and successful company. It's a dream job for many. So it has our change, which we have done with zero coding knowledge. We literally clicked few buttons and just removed a dot, but it's there now. And that's big, because, well, a small thing, which is just a nice to have, but you see, there's a graph with contributions. So today is 4th of June, and my GitHub account shows that I did a contribution, actually 3 of them, right? And that's something, this graph is something good recruiters are really looking for, and you want good recruiters. So what are the other reasons of contributing to open source? Well, first of all, as I have just shown, yep, sorry, English is not my first language, but I'm getting better, I hope. First of all, we have a chance to go and start working for a company of our dreams just right now. You don't need to go to MIT or even to school. You can be 80 years old, or you can be 80 years old. You could be working in Microsoft itself. Nobody's stopping you. So you can just do it. So, of course, not all the companies will be there. Probably some security companies won't be there, but there are ways to contribute in this way as well. There's a whole art behind it. Basically, it's called selection of open source project, because it has to be something you really like, that really helps you to stay contributing, because you need to create a habit of contributing, ideally daily, so it starts looking like this, but for the whole year. So what are the other reasons besides getting in the company of your dreams? So it could be Microsoft, it could be Google, it could be Adobe, anything, Oracle, Redis, whatever. First of all, you'll be getting an up-to-date experience. So the problem with studying IT at universities is that it's normally out of date. Even universities, amazing universities like Berkeley, or institutes like MIT, or my own university, Caltech, they cannot really catch up with all the changes in technologies. It's impossible, because technologies change that fast, like daily. I'm sure there are like maybe 10 JavaScript frameworks which got upgraded, got new versions just during the conversation between me and you guys. So this way you can always go and check some plugin here, so or some code here. So for example, we can go to the Selenite, right? And Selenium, sorry, I think it's Selenium. Actually, code board. Is it this way? No, I'm looking in Microsoft repository, that's why. Selenite. Okay, so this is from an amazing company and amazing people in Estonia. So that's Andrei Solntsev, and he's one of the best developers you'll meet in your life. Just take a look at what his repository looks like. and he works in a company called Codeborn, which is an extreme programming company in Estonia. And I am myself only aware of 2 such companies, and I have been coding for money since 2008. So just to work on something on which Andrei works, it's a great honor. If you are into extreme programming and you didn't happen to have these companies around you, you can always come here and you can, yeah. So apparently they're doing some plugins. So if you want to become visible to Andrei or to the company, just go, or you want maybe to ask him some questions about XP, then maybe first go and contribute something, and then later you come to Andrei and say that, Andrei, can you make a meetup for us, or tell us about XP, or tell us how Codeborn is working? Well, that might increase your chances of at least getting a reply, but he's a nice guy. Although I'm not associated with Codeborn in any way, but I really like the company. So as well, besides all these things, so besides the opportunity to start working in the company of your dream now, and besides getting the most up-to-date experience now, you will start getting feedback from the community. Because if you take a look at this one, so if you just go to Microsoft repository again, it has pull requests, right? And we can take a look at the closed one. And some of them, they will have comments. So you see this one, it has 6 comments. So it has these nice people who are working together to resolve something. And there's a good chance that you won't be able to talk to these people normally, because first of all, you don't even know their names. Even for the recruiters, it might be hard because these people might not be replying emails from recruiters. But you can start contributing here, and you will get an ability to speak to, I don't know, this guy, but now I can tell like immediately that most probably he's amazing. And he works in Microsoft, so, well, they have very high standards. But you can learn from him, you can check his contributions, you can contribute together with him, and this is amazing. So, and he will be, or somebody like him, some nice person will actually answer your questions, and even if you get rejected, if your contribution gets rejected, the feedback will help you to grow, and it will help you to grow so much faster than any university. So, because basically you are practicing, and also on your, but not only on your practicing with the best senseis or teachers available in this world now. So, besides the contributions and starting now on your dream project or company and having up-to-date experience, you will get your social connections established. You will learn about all these people, and naturally your LinkedIn, Twitter, Redis, and other networks will grow. And this is important because this way your contributions might have even bigger impact. Because if I contribute to this project now, I just created a dot, right? But I'm creating a YouTube video about it, and I'll be forwarding people to this video, and hopefully hundreds of developers at some point, hundreds of people, they will start actually contributing and moving towards their dream and impacting society in the best way possible. Because you can contribute, I don't know, you can probably find, maybe it has a Greenpeace repository there, I don't know. Let's check. Do they have a repository there? Let's see. Yeah, you see it? Let's see if it's legit. Well, we don't know, right? It doesn't say if it's legit or not, but you can check. You can check, you can do your research, and you can help the planet. And the last one, almost the last one. So this approach, I really believe that this is the most efficient way to learn coding and learn everything around IT, because you don't have to code. You don't have even to fix the README files. You can just help people in the community to organize, although fixing files will help you to have a nice bar here. But actually, if you just comment here, it will help as well. Let's say English is not your first language. Not a problem at all. It's actually quite beneficial. You can translate these projects into your language. You can create manuals in your language. There are people who became famous doing that. So you might know Estonian or Arabic or Hindi. So these are all beautiful languages. So find how you can contribute to this project with your language skills. And then you'll see other ways to contribute. So, or you can stay contributing in the language area. There's so much work to do, and software development, or literally coding, is just a very small and tiny piece of that. And last but not least is that I promise you, you will have fun because you will be working in the project of your dream. What can be better? Oh, and only one warning, guys, that if you keep doing that, if you start contributing a lot to, let's say, Microsoft account, right? So if you start contributing to Microsoft accounts in the projects which they actually develop a lot, then you might end up having a recruiter from Microsoft or alternative company not knocking on your door, of course, but calling you, and you might get a job there, and you might get a job there in a very different way. You won't be having those 16 interviews and fizz buzz code checking skills or anything. They will already know, because normally what happens, people after university, they have to prove that they are worth it to work with the company. But if you contribute a lot, you will have already proven that you can contribute. They can check your contributions, and they can just talk with you a few times, and they will say, yeah, it was this person who created them. Contributions were nice, high quality, and a lot of them. So let's hire him, because there will be a much higher chance that you will stay with the company, and there's much higher chance that you're actually up for the job, comparing to some unknown person who just did some coding exercises and maybe a singular takeaway home task. So yeah, I want you guys that besides starting working in companies of your dream now, of course not officially, just contributing to them, although it's a lot actually, besides getting the most up-to-date experience, besides getting the free and high quality feedback from community, and getting known in the industry, and creating your social network around the industry, and getting a real and hands-on knowledge, and having tons of fun, you also, there's only one drawback: you risk getting a very good and potentially highly paid job in this company. So be warned. And let me know how it goes. I will try to answer you either on social media. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Redis, and other networks, even on Facebook. So just drop me a question. I cannot promise that I will answer you in person or one-to-one, but I can combine your questions and create future videos explaining how to do stuff. So, as you see, just think about something you like, find company you like, find the project, maybe it's some tool you are using, and check the README file and contribute, like now. Or check the discussions in the tickets and contribute. And before you contribute, don't forget to create a fork of the fork. Don't forget to click this thing, because there's some explanation on how GitHub calculates those contributions. So if you go to your profile here, so somewhere there was explanation. This link, learn how we count contributions. So it explains literally how contributions are counted. So that was a long video, and I hope it helps you guys. And tell me, because this really helps. This is the way to get started in IT, and you can be of any background, any race, like anything, but now sky is the limit for you, because me personally, I'm from an extremely poor background. Well, for my country it was extremely poor. My family could not afford buying yogurt till I was 15, and that's not nice. It's not nice when you cannot bring your classmates to your home because, well, it's just looks so poor, and you are a bit ashamed. And well, I wish I learned about open source in 2008 or probably 2004. I know it was only starting, but I wish I did it then. I reached a lot of things by now, but I would have reached so much more. And what is most important is not that. The most important is that by this time I would have helped a ton of people, especially from disprivileged backgrounds, to get nice jobs and make their lives better. But it's never late. It's never too late to start, I hope. So I'm starting now, and I'm sharing with you guys. So peace, and talk to you later. And just bear with me turning off my recorder. Sorry about that. See you. Peace. Live long and prosper.